I think it is unfortunate that the Palestinian Authority continues to be influenced by an element that will not rest until Israel's wiped off the map. There really is no way to have a viable two-state solution when one side will not rest until the other side disappears. And viability too often gets measured based off of Israel trying to defend herself. As we saw a year ago, as rockets were being fired from the south and the north, Israel needed to defend herself. And the idea, the concept that the Palestinian Authority would try to go to the ICC and try to raise war crime charges against Israel, trying to use the media, propaganda, public opinion to change facts and legitimacy is greatly unfortunate. And coming before a body like the United Nations and continuing to preach such hatred and intolerance and such a misleading dishonesty with regards to the facts, it's greatly unfortunate. Israel is a state that is not looking to have an offensive posture with regards to its neighbors. Israel and Israelis are looking to live in peace, and they're being terrorized. And the threat is on all corners, to the south, to the east, to the north. Very real daily threats. And as Hezbollah takes an arsenal a few miles away from the border and hides it inside of schools and hospitals and protected religious sites. What does that mean in terms of the intentions of these terrorist groups? And the idea that the Palestinian Authority would allow itself to be controlled by an element that would be firing rockets into a kibbutz on the border of Gaza, that's something that there is no room for any tolerance, and it needs to be stopped. And I don't see that type of the right type of discipline and message coming from leadership. It sends the wrong message to the rest of the world that the Palestinian Authority is in any control over its own people in a way that will bring peace to the world.
We see all the violence today coming from the Arabs people. Do you think that the President Obama do enough to protect Israel?
Well, it should be noted that Israel has never asked Americans to send service members to fight their battles for them. That Israel doesn't ask President Obama and the Americans to send service members to drop an ounce of blood on their soil. Israel defends herself. Service members, Israelis, people who travel from all around the world to serve as part of the IDF. It's important, though, that America's foreign policy as it relates to Iran and giving $150 billion worth of sanction relief, for example, it is a disproportionate amount of capitulation that is taking place, where these threats to Israel are benefiting from the current foreign policy of President Obama and others, and it's something that really needs to turn.
What do you think about Netanyahu's speech?
I thought that he was great with getting a very important message to the international community that Israel is strong and also very much aware of the weakness amongst other countries that are making believe like what reality is currently in the Middle East, and specifically in Israel, is this alternate reality. And for him to be able to speak about the consequences of a nuclear deal with Iran, to talk about what a viable two-state solution is at any opportunity, whether it's before a joint session of Congress, whether it's before the United Nations, or elsewhere as we move forward. I think it's important for him to be a leader and to be the leader of a nation that is a beacon of freedom and democracy in a region of the world that's filled with darkness. And I think that leadership came through.
You're talking about a two-state solution. You really think that Abu Mazen is a real partner to peace?
I believe that the Palestinian Authority is controlled by elements that will not find peace. Their purpose is to continue on offense until Israel is wiped off the map. And that alone prevents a two-state solution from being viable until the Palestinian Authority takes control over their own people, where the leader of the Palestinian Authority is able to speak with authority as to a negotiated solution that would be respected, then whatever we get is just rhetoric and should be dismissed.
The last question I want to ask you, if your Prime Minister Netanyahu was sitting over here, what you give him to make advice situation now in Jerusalem?
We'll continue to be strong. It's times like this where people unify behind their leader. That words are so important to gain inspiration and hope that there are better days ahead. And it's a time like this where we're having the strength of someone who is in command, who's aware, who's a good communicator, is so necessary, because when one negative incident happens, there is at the same time so many other good people who are strong, resolute, motivated to want to make something much better out of the challenge that is before you. So the Prime Minister just needs to continue to do what he's been doing, be a strong, effective leader for Israelis, for the region, and for the world.
You was visiting Israel?
I was in Israel this past August. I was with a congressional delegation, and we spent a couple hours with the Prime Minister. We also spent some time with President Rivlin and other leaders, both elected officials, military leaders. It was a great visit, and it was an inspirational visit. It's a reminder that the bond between the United States and Israel must always remain as strong as possible.
Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you.